The thin atmosphere of Epsilon Eridani IV shimmered under the pale orange sun, casting long shadows across the modest agricultural domes of New Dawn Colony. Located at the farthest reach of human expansion, this agricultural scientific outpost represented humanity's tenuous foothold in this distant star system. With a population of merely 1,500 souls, farmers, scientists, engineers, and a token security force, New Dawn was considered Earth's weakest and most vulnerable extraterrestrial settlement. Captain Lana Reyes stood at the northern observation deck, her dark eyes scanning the horizon, where dust storms perpetually gathered at the edge of the habitable zone. As head of security for New Dawn, her days typically consisted of routine patrols, minor dispute resolutions, and occasional forays to escort research teams into the unforgiving terrain beyond the settlement's boundaries. Today had begun no differently. "Magnificent desolation," came a voice from behind her. Dr. Malik Nassar approached his lanky frame, silhouetted against the amber glow of the colony's central dome. As chief of engineering, Nassar had been instrumental in adapting Earth technology to function in Epsilon Eridani's harsh conditions. "If you say so," Lana replied with a hint of a smile. "I prefer places with breathable air and fewer chances of being sandblasted." "That's why we built the domes," Malik gestured at the interconnected structures sprawling below them. "Though I admit our infrastructure leaves much to be desired." The colony's hastily constructed habitation modules, hydroponics facilities, and research stations looked fragile against the barren landscape, a collection of glass, metal, and composite materials that seemed almost temporary. "Any word from Earth Command about our security upgrades?" Lana asked, glancing at the outdated defense turrets, positioned at strategic intervals around the colony's perimeter. Malik shook his head. "Supply ships are prioritizing the core colonies. We're scheduled for upgrades next quarter." He paused, his expression growing serious. "The latest intelligence report came in this morning. Dravak fleet movements have been detected in neighboring systems." Lana tensed. The Dravak, a militaristic species that had encountered humanity 5 years ago, had shown increasing territorial aggression, particularly toward outlying human settlements. "Any specific threat assessment?" "Nothing confirmed," Malik replied, "but Command recommended heightened vigilance." Below them, the colony continued its daily routines. Agricultural workers tended the specialized crops in the eastern domes. Scientists gathered samples from the experimental terraforming plots, and engineers performed maintenance on the life support systems. A small group of schoolchildren was visible in the community center dome, their laughter inaudible, but their play evident as they chased each other around a makeshift playground. "We're preparing a broadcast to Earth," Malik continued, "showcasing our latest agricultural adaptations. The comms team wants to finalize the presentation by this evening." Lana nodded absently, her attention caught by a flickering light on her wrist communicator. "That's strange," she murmured, tapping the device. "The long-range sensors are picking up unusual radiation patterns in the upper atmosphere." "Solar activity," Malik suggested. "Possibly," she replied, though her instincts suggested otherwise. "I'll have Lieutenant Patel run a diagnostic." They parted ways, Malik to oversee final preparations for the Earth broadcast, and Lana to the security hub, nestled in the colony's administrative center. As she walked through the interconnecting tunnels between domes, she exchanged greetings with colonists, going about their daily business. Many had chosen New Dawn specifically for its remoteness and the opportunity to build something new, far from Earth's crowded cities and complex politics. At the security hub, Lieutenant Raj Patel was already running sensor diagnostics when Lana arrived. "Status report." She demanded the informal atmosphere of moments ago, replaced by professional authority. "Captain, we're detecting multiple thermal signatures breaching the upper atmosphere." Patel reported, his fingers flying across the holographic display. Trajectory and velocity consistent with controlled descent rather than natural phenomena. Lana leaned forward, studying the readouts. "How many?" "3 large signatures, possibly accompanied by smaller objects." Patel replied. Configurations match known Dravak dropship designs. A cold weight settled in Lana's stomach. Confirm with orbital satellites. Satellite uplink is experiencing interference. Patel responded, his voice tightening. Possible jamming technology. Lana's decision was immediate. Sound general alert. Contact Dr. Nassar and Director Ruiz. Emergency protocol meeting in 5 minutes. Throughout the colony, the peaceful afternoon shattered as red alert sirens began to wail. Colonists who had been trained for this possibility, though few truly believed it would happen, began moving with urgent purpose toward designated gathering points. In the administration dome's conference room, Lana was joined by the colony's leadership, Dr. Malik Nassar, Civilian Director Elena Ruiz, Medical Chief Amina Sol, and Lieutenant Patel, who had transferred sensor data to the room's main display. Confirmed Dravak Assault Force, Lana announced without preamble. 3 capital ships deploying what appears to be a standard invasion complement. Time to atmospheric entry approximately 30 minutes. Director Ruiz, a former diplomat whose silver-streaked hair was pulled back in a severe bun, spoke first. Our emergency evacuation protocols won't work, Lana interrupted. There's no time to get everyone to the emergency shuttles, and even if we could, the Dravak would intercept them. What about distress signals to Earth Command? Dr. Sol asked, her dark fingers nervously adjusting her medical insignia. Already sent, Patel confirmed, but nearest response vessels are at least 4 days away. A heavy silence fell over the room as the implications sank in. New Dawn had 30 security personnel, minimal defensive capabilities, and over 1,000 civilians. Against a Dravak assault force, their chances were non-existent. We need to discuss Protocol 7, Malik said quietly. Director Ruiz inhaled sharply. That's a last resort. We can't just... We're at last resort, Lana cut in, her voice firm. The Dravak don't take prisoners, and we've all seen what happened to Proxima Colony last year. The unspoken memory hung in the air, the massacre of over 3,000 colonists after a failed resistance. Protocol 7 would mean losing everything we've built, Ruiz argued. But not everyone we are, Malik countered. The bunker network can accommodate all colonists. We'd lose the surface infrastructure but preserve our people. Protocol 7, named for the 7th seal in ancient apocalyptic texts, was a contingency so extreme it had never been revealed to the general colony population. Designed as the ultimate deterrent, it involved converting the entire colony into a massive booby trap, sacrificing the settlement itself to eliminate any attacking force. Lana turned to Patel. Time to arrival. 25 minutes, Captain. Then we have 10 minutes to decide, she said grimly, and 15 to implement whatever we choose. Outside, colonists continued gathering in designated safety zones, unaware that their leadership was contemplating the destruction of their homes and livelihoods to save their lives. Show me the Dravak force composition, Lana requested. Patel manipulated the holographic display, revealing detailed scans of the approaching vessels. Command ship identified as the Vorax flagship of Commander Varrock Krell. Intelligence indicates he's a veteran of multiple conflicts with human colonies. Krell, Lana muttered. He led the Proxima assault. Director Ruiz paled visibly. Then negotiation is not an option, Lana finished. His tactical pattern is consistent. Overwhelming force, minimal warning, no mercy. She turned to Dr. Nassar. Malik, walk us through Protocol 7 implementation. Malik nodded solemnly. The colony was built with contingencies in mind. Beneath our surface structures, we've installed a network of demolition charges and self-destruct mechanisms. Simultaneously, our drone fleet can be reprogrammed for suicide runs against enemy vessels. And the civilian population, Dr. Sol asked. The underground bunker network extends 3 kilometers below the surface, well shielded, and with independent life support for up to 6 months, Malik explained. It was designed as a refuge against severe dust storms, but will serve equally well as protection from orchestrated destruction. Director Ruiz looked torn. The agricultural research, all our data. Backed up in sealed vaults within the bunker system, Malik assured her. We would lose physical infrastructure but retain our most valuable assets, our people, and our knowledge. Lana studied the faces around the table. I need a decision. Protocol 7 requires unanimous leadership approval. One by one, they nodded. First Malik, then Patel, followed by Dr. Saul. Director Ruiz hesitated longest, her eyes glistening with moisture, before she finally gave a small, defeated nod. Protocol 7 is authorized, Lana declared. Lieutenant Patel begin immediate evacuation to the bunker network. Dr. Saul, ensure medical resources are transferred. Director Ruiz, organize essential data and cultural artifacts for preservation. Dr. Nassar, prepare the self-destruct sequences and drone reprogramming. As the leadership team dispersed to their duties, Lana activated the colony-wide communication system. Attention all New Dawn citizens. This is Captain Reyes. We have confirmed an imminent Dravak attack force. All personnel are to proceed immediately to bunker entrances, following evacuation protocol. This is not a drill. Essential personnel will provide further instructions at gathering points. Remain calm and proceed with urgency. Throughout the domes, the orderly gathering transformed into controlled chaos as colonists absorbed the reality of the situation. Parents clutched children, researchers hastily collected vital specimens, and engineers grabbed portable tools and technical data. In the security hub, Lieutenant Patel coordinated the limited security force, positioning them at key evacuation points to maintain order and assist the vulnerable. Dr. Saul's medical team began transferring essential supplies and equipment to the underground medical facilities. Director Ruiz and her administrative staff hurriedly copied the colony's cultural database, containing everything from personal logs to artistic creations to the shielded servers below. Meanwhile, Malik led his engineering team in the most delicate operation, preparing the colony's infrastructure for strategic destruction while ensuring the bunker network remained protected. The drone facility became a hive of activity as technicians reprogrammed the agricultural and scientific drones with newly uploaded suicide protocols. Above, the Dravak ships continued their descent, now visible to the naked eye as dark shapes against the orange sky. Their approach was deliberately intimidating, slow, and inexorable, designed to inspire fear and hopelessness. 10 minutes after the alert, Lana received confirmation that evacuation was progressing efficiently. New Dawn citizens, despite their fear, were moving with remarkable discipline. Years of safety drills combined with the frontier spirit that had brought them to this distant world manifested as determined cooperation. In the command ship, Vorax Commander Varrock Krell observed the human colony through enhanced viewing screens. His scaled skin gleamed in the dim lighting of the bridge, the bony ridges above his eyes casting shadows over yellow, predatory eyes. "Pathetic," he remarked to his second-in-command. "Their defensive capabilities are minimal. No orbital platforms, outdated perimeter weapons, not even a proper shield dome." "Intelligence reports confirm it is their weakest settlement, Commander," his subordinate replied. "Population approximately 1,500, primarily civilians, engaged in agricultural and scientific pursuits." Krell's mouth twisted in what passed for a smile among his species. "Hardly worth the fuel to reach them. Prepare the landing force. I want control established within 1 hour." He paused, considering. "And Sub-Commander, ensure specimens are taken for biological research before disposal of the population." "Yes, Commander. Dropships are prepared for deployment." On Krell's command, 6 smaller vessels detached from the 3 capital ships, arcing toward the colony in a standard attack formation. Each dropship carried 30 elite Dravak warriors, armed with plasma rifles and personal shield generators, vastly outmatching New Dawn security personnel in both numbers and technology. Back in the colony, Lana observed the detaching dropships on the security feed. "They're deploying landing forces," she informed Malik over the comm. "How much longer for evacuation?" 87% complete, he replied, his voice tight with concentration. "Self-destruct system is armed and drone reprogramming at 93%. We need another 8 minutes minimum." "We may not have them," Lana warned. Dropships will reach surface in approximately 6 minutes. Director Ruiz reports data transfer at 78% completion, Malik added. We're working as fast as possible, but prioritize personnel evacuation, Lana interrupted. Data can be replaced, lives cannot. In the bunker network below, colonists huddled in designated sections. Families together, work teams consolidated, as administrators tried to maintain calm. The bunkers, though utilitarian, had been designed with long-term habitation in mind, containing sleeping quarters, communal spaces, hydroponic sections, and essential facilities. What they lacked in comfort, they made up for in security. Dr. Saul moved efficiently through the arriving colonists, identifying those requiring immediate medical attention, mainly elderly residents distressed by the rapid evacuation and a few injuries sustained in the hurried descent to the bunkers. Lieutenant Patel's voice crackled over Lana's comm. Captain Security Team reports evacuation 95% complete. Remaining personnel are mostly engineering teams completing Protocol 7 preparations. Pull them out, Lana ordered. Dravak dropships are 3 minutes from touchdown. On the surface, the final phase of evacuation accelerated. Engineering teams sealed access points to the bunker network, engaged camouflage protocols for entrance disguise, and retreated underground themselves. The drone technicians completed their reprogramming and hurried to their evacuation points, leaving the machines in standby mode, awaiting activation signals. 2 minutes before Dravak arrival, Lana stood alone in the security hub performing final system checks. The evacuation was complete, all 1489 colonists and personnel accounted for in the bunker network. She activated a secure channel to Malik. Status report. All systems ready, came the reply. Waiting on your command sequence. Lana initiated the final security protocol, triggering a cascading shutdown of all non-essential colony systems. Lights dimmed throughout the domes, environmental controls shifted to minimum sustainability, and automated systems entered passive mode. To approaching scanners, the colony would appear operational, but minimally staffed, a perfect target. With 30 seconds remaining, Lana input her command authorization code and sprinted for the nearest bunker entrance. As the heavy blast doors sealed behind her, she descended the reinforced stairwell to the command center, 3 levels below ground, where Malik, Director Ruiz, and other leadership awaited. Dravak dropships have landed, Patel reported, as she entered, indicating the surveillance feeds that maintained visibility of the surface. Forces deploying in standard pacification formation. On the monitors, armored Dravak warriors emerged from their vessels bipedal, but distinctly alien with their scaled skin, elongated cranial structures, and powerful builds. They moved with military precision, securing a perimeter around their landing zone, before advancing toward the colony domes. Their confidence is palpable, Malik observed. No caution whatsoever. Why would there be? Director Ruiz replied bitterly. They're expecting farmers and scientists, not resistance. Lana checked the chronometer. Protocol 7 activation in 7 minutes. All systems are autonomous now. If we abort, it must be in the next 6 minutes. Across the bunker network, colonists watched shared displays of the surface, with a mixture of fear, anger, and grim fascination. Many were seeing Dravak in person for the first time, the alien species that had become humanity's first hostile extraterrestrial encounter. On the surface, Commander Krell emerged from the lead dropship, surveying the human settlement with contempt. Proceed with standard sweep pattern, he ordered. Secure central facilities first, then methodically clear each structure. Subdue any resistance, but priority remains capture. Rather than elimination, the research division requires live specimens. His warriors acknowledged and advanced on the colony weapons ready. They encountered no resistance as they approached the main airlock of the central dome, their sensors detecting normal life support operation and minimal life signs consistent with a population in hiding. Krell activated his communication device. Attention human settlement. This is Commander Varrock Krell of the Dravak Hegemony. Your colony is now under our control. Surrender immediately, and you will be processed efficiently. Resistance will result in painful subjugation. In the bunker command center, Lana smiled grimly at the standard Dravak announcement. Always the same script, she remarked, as if efficiency in processing is supposed to be comforting. 5 minutes to Protocol 7 activation, Patel announced. Lana nodded, then turned to address the colony leadership. What we're about to do has no precedent in colonial history. We're sacrificing everything we've built to preserve our people and send a message. She paused, meeting each gaze in turn. If any of you wish to object, now is the time. Silence answered her. Even Director Ruiz, who had been most reluctant, now watched the Dravak warriors with steely determination. Very well, Lana continued. Dr. Nassar, final systems check. Malik moved to the central console, his fingers dancing across the controls. Demolition charges armed and synchronized. Drone reprogramming complete, and systems in standby. Bunker shields at maximum capacity. He turned to face Lana. Protocol 7 is ready. On the surface, the Dravak forces had breached the central dome and were methodically spreading through the colony infrastructure. Their sensors detected hiding places where colonists might be concealed: storage rooms, maintenance shafts, secured laboratories, and they moved efficiently to investigate each. Commander One Warrior reported to Krell. We are detecting unusual energy signatures beneath the colony structures. Elaborate, Krell demanded. Possible shielded areas underground, the warrior explained. Consistent with bunker systems. Krell's expression shifted to one of cruel amusement. They're hiding below then. Predictable. He activated his communicator. All units prepare seismic charges for deployment at these coordinates. We'll flush them out like vermin from a burrow. In the bunker command center, Lana received the intelligence update. They've detected the bunker network. They're preparing to deploy seismic charges. Will our shielding hold? Director Ruiz asked anxiously. Against standard seismic charges? Yes, Malik confirmed. The bunker was designed to withstand natural tremors, significantly stronger than anything they're likely to deploy. 3 minutes to Protocol 7 activation, Patel announced. Lana activated the colony-wide communication system within the bunker network. Attention all colonists. This is Captain Reyes. Dravak forces have breached the colony and are searching for survivors. In approximately 3 minutes, we will activate Protocol 7. You may experience some vibration, but the bunker systems are designed to protect us. Remain calm and trust in our preparations. Throughout the underground complex, colonists listened with mixture of fear and determination. Parents held children, close friends, clasped hands, and the community that had been built in the harsh environment of Epsilon Eridani IV drew strength from their shared resolve. On the surface, Dravak warriors continued their methodical search, finding the colony eerily empty, yet fully functional. Food remained on tables in the communal dining area. Scientific equipment hummed with ongoing experiments, and personal items lay where they had been hurriedly abandoned. Commander A Warrior reported to Krell, We've located what appears to be a primary access point to their underground facility. Krell approached the reinforced doorway, embedded in the foundation of the administrative dome. Prepare breaching charges, he ordered. Once we have access, deploy gas canisters first. I want minimal damage to potential research subjects. 2 minutes to Protocol 7 activation, Patel announced in the bunker. Lana studied the surveillance feeds showing Dravak warriors placing explosive devices around the sealed bunker entrance. They're attempting to breach entrance Alpha, she reported. Estimate detonation in approximately 40 seconds. Entrance Alpha is a decoy, Malik reminded her. Triple reinforced and leading to an airlock maze. Even if they breach it, they'll waste valuable time before realizing it's not a direct access point. The Dravak detonated their breaching charges, creating a thunderous explosion that reverberated through the colony structures and caused dust to shake loose from the bunker ceiling. The reinforced door buckled, but held, prompting Krell to order stronger explosives. 1 minute to Protocol 7 activation, Patel announced, his voice tight with tension. On another monitor, Lana observed Dravak warriors discovering the drone facility. "They've found the drone bay," she reported. Approximately 60 seconds until they realized the drones are not standard models. Director Ruiz moved closer to the display, watching the aliens examining human technology with dismissive gestures. "All our work," she murmured. "Generations of research and development." "We'll continue," Lana assured her firmly. "Underground for now, but we will rebuild." 30 seconds to Protocol 7 activation, Patel announced. "All systems green." Throughout the bunker network, colonists fell silent, their collective breath held as the countdown continued. On the surface, the Dravak remained oblivious to their impending fate, continuing their systematic invasion of a seemingly defenseless settlement. Commander Krell, standing in the central dome and surveying what would soon be another conquest for the hegemony, activated his communicator. "Status report on the human population." "Still searching, Commander," came the reply. "Underground facility more extensive than initially estimated." Krell's expression darkened with impatience. "Double the search teams. I want this operation completed within the hour." "Final sequence initiated," Malik announced in the bunker command center, his fingers completing the activation protocol. "Protocol 7 activated." For 3 breathless seconds, nothing happened. Then, throughout the colony, a series of low-frequency pulses began inaudible, but causing subtle vibrations in the structure. The Dravak warriors paused their sensory organs, detecting the unfamiliar oscillations. In the drone bay, inactive machines suddenly powered up their indicator lights, shifting from standby green to active red. Maintenance hatches throughout the colony silently slid open, revealing previously concealed demolition charges. Environmental systems began venting specific gas mixtures into the dome atmosphere, not harmful themselves, but creating a hyperoxidic environment. "What is happening?" Krell demanded, as his warriors reported multiple anomalies simultaneously. The answer came with devastating clarity, as the first drone launched from its bay, accelerating directly toward the nearest Dravak dropship. The modified agricultural machine, normally used for crop pollination, now carried a payload of high-explosive compounds. "Defensive positions," Krell bellowed, but the warning came too late. The drone impacted the dropship's fuel storage section, detonating with a force that shattered the vessel and sent flaming debris across the landing area. Almost simultaneously, dozens more drones launched, some targeting the remaining dropships, others pursuing Dravak warriors directly. Underground, the bunker vibrated with the first explosion. On the command center, displays Lana and the leadership team watched as Protocol 7 unfolded with terrible efficiency. Primary charges detonating in 10 seconds. Malik announced, his voice steady despite the destruction they were witnessing. The Dravak, now aware of the trap they had walked into, attempted to retreat to their remaining ships. Commander Krell, roaring orders that were lost in the chaos of exploding drones and fleeing warriors, made for his command vessel. Beneath the colony, precisely placed demolition charges began detonating in a carefully choreographed sequence designed not to collapse the structures immediately, but to create a cascading failure that would maximize damage to the invading force. The agricultural domes shattered first, their specialized glass panels exploding outward in lethal shards that sliced through Dravak armor. The reinforced connecting tunnels buckled and split, venting the hyperoxidic atmosphere that had been building inside. When exposed to the specific plasma frequency used in Dravak weapons, this gas mixture ignited spectacularly, creating rolling fireballs that pursued the aliens through the colony infrastructure. In the research dome, chemical storage facilities ruptured, releasing compounds that were harmless separately, but produced violent reactions when mixed. Laboratory equipment overloaded, adding electrical discharges to the growing maelstrom of destruction. Commander Krell, reaching the perimeter, witnessed 3 more of his dropships destroyed by suicide drones. The colony, that had appeared defenseless minutes ago, had transformed into an inferno of ingeniously orchestrated destruction. "Fall back to the command ship," he ordered, abandoning the warriors still trapped in the collapsing structures. Self-preservation overrode any loyalty to his troops, a common trait among Dravak commanders that had contributed to their species' ruthless efficiency. Within the bunker network, the vibrations intensified as the demolition sequence progressed. Colonists held onto support structures and each other, their faces illuminated by the emergency lighting that had activated when the main power connections to the surface were severed. Surface structures collapsing. Patel reported monitoring the structural integrity sensors. Bunker shielding holding at 97% efficiency. On the command displays, they watched as New Dawn, the settlement they had built over years of hardship and hope, disintegrated in a spectacular conflagration designed to take as many Dravak with it as possible. 7 minutes, Lana breathed, checking the chronometer. From first drone activation to complete structural failure, 7 minutes. The Dravak had arrived expecting an easy conquest of defenseless colonists. Instead, they had encountered a meticulously planned trap that converted an entire settlement into a weapon. Of the 6 dropships that had landed, 5 were destroyed completely. The invasion force of 180 elite warriors was reduced to fewer than 30 survivors, desperately fleeing toward the single remaining vessel. Commander Krell, his scaled skin scorched and armor damaged, fought his way through his own retreating forces to reach the escape craft. "Launch!" he bellowed as he pulled himself aboard. "Return to the command ship immediately." The surviving dropship lifted off its engines, straining, as it accelerated upward through the dust and smoke, now billowing from what had been New Dawn Colony. Behind them, secondary explosions continued as buried fuel cells and power generators added their energy to the destruction. In the bunker command center, the leadership team watched silently as their settlement burned. The surveillance systems designed to withstand the colony's destruction continued transmitting images of the devastation, now a crater of twisted metal and shattered composite materials where homes and workplaces had stood hours before. Remaining Dravak forces retreating to orbit, Patel reported tracking the escape vessel's trajectory. Estimate 19 survivors aboard, including Commander Krell. "The capital ships?" Lana asked. "Maintaining position in high orbit," Patel replied. "No indication of further dropship deployment." A heavy silence fell over the command center as the implications of what they had done and what they had prevented sank in. They had sacrificed their colony, years of construction and development, to save their people from slaughter or experimentation. "Initiate all clear protocols," Lana finally ordered. "Begin systematic checks of bunker systems and prepare for extended subterranean habitation." She turned to Director Ruiz. "We need to address the colonists. They deserve to know what happened and what comes next." Director Ruiz nodded, her earlier reluctance replaced by resolute determination. "I'll prepare a statement. Dr. Sol, can you assess the psychological impact and prepare support protocols?" "Already in progress," Dr. Sol confirmed. "Initial observations suggest shock, of course, but also a surprising degree of resilience. These people chose frontier life. They understand sacrifice." Malik stood from his position at the systems console. "Bunker life support functioning at optimal levels. Food production systems online and water recycling at full capacity. We can sustain the entire population indefinitely, though comfort will be limited." Lana nodded acknowledgement, then activated the colony-wide communication system. "Attention all New Dawn citizens. This is Captain Reyes. Protocol 7 has been successfully executed. The Dravak invasion force has been largely destroyed, and remaining enemy vessels are retreating. We are safe, though, at great cost." She paused, choosing her next words carefully. "We have lost our surface infrastructure, our homes, our laboratories, our fields. But we have preserved what truly matters: our people, our knowledge, and our future. Director Ruiz will address you shortly with more details, but know this: what we accomplish today will echo across human space. The colony, considered Earth's weakest, has demonstrated humanity's greatest strength, our capacity to survive against overwhelming odds." Throughout the bunker network, her words were met with a mixture of grief for what was lost and pride in what had been accomplished. Families embraced colleagues, clasped shoulders, and the community that had defined New Dawn began the process of accepting their new underground reality. In orbit above Epsilon, Aerodani 4, Commander Krell faced the wrath of his superiors via communication link. "You lost 5 dropships and over 150 warriors to farmers." The fleet commander growled, his bony ridges flaring with anger. "It was a trap," Krell insisted, furious at the humiliation. "The humans sacrificed their entire colony to destroy our forces. Such behavior is irrational and could not have been anticipated." "Your failure will be noted in the archives," the fleet commander replied coldly. "Return to hegemony space immediately for reassignment. Further research on human psychological warfare tactics is clearly required." As the Dravak capital ships engaged their propulsion systems and prepared to leave the system, Lana and Malik stood in the bunker's observation room, watching the sensor readouts track their departure. "They're leaving," Malik confirmed. "Long-range sensors indicate course set for the nearest Dravak waypoint." "They'll be back," Lana said grimly. "Not immediately, but eventually. This will have wounded their pride." "By then, we'll be ready," Malik replied. "This was just the first message. There will be others." In the communications center, Lieutenant Patel approached with news. "Captain, we've established contact with Earth Command. Relief vessels have been dispatched, estimated arrival in 4 days. They're sending construction materials, additional personnel, and enhanced defense systems." "So it takes losing a colony to get proper defenses," Lana remarked with bitter irony. "They're also requesting a complete tactical analysis of Protocol 7 implementation," Patel added. "High Command is calling it the 7-minute victory." 3 months later, the surface of Epsilon Aerodani 4 showed signs of renewal. Where New Dawn had once stood, a new settlement emerged, Phoenix Dawn, named both for the mythical bird of rebirth and in honor of the destroyed colony. Unlike its predecessor, Phoenix Dawn was built with defense as a primary consideration. Reinforced dome structures featured integrated energy shields, and automated defense platforms surrounded the perimeter. A proper garrison had been established with a full company of Space Force personnel and advanced weapon systems. Yet at its heart, the new colony maintained the same purpose as the original: agricultural research and scientific advancement on the frontier of human space. Many of the original colonists had chosen to remain, emerging from their underground refuge to rebuild what had been lost, now with proper support from Earth. In the central plaza of Phoenix Dawn stood a memorial, a simple obelisk of local stone inscribed with the words 7 minutes and the date of the Dravak attack. At its base lay fragments recovered from the destroyed colony, preserved as a reminder of what had been sacrificed. Captain Lana Reyes, now promoted to Major and official military commander of the enhanced settlement, stood before this memorial with Dr. Malik Nassar as the sun set over the reconstructed domes. "Message from Earth Command," Lana said, checking her communicator. "Diplomatic vessel approaching. Dravak representatives requesting formal talks." "Surprising," Malik remarked. "The hegemony has never sought diplomatic contact before." "Losing an elite force to farmers and scientists appears to have made an impression," Lana replied, with a hint of satisfaction. "They're requesting a neutral meeting ground to discuss establishment of a buffer zone between our territories. And the true reason? Intelligence suggests internal discord within their leadership. The 7-minute victory has become something of a legend, both among our colonies and apparently within Dravak society. Some factions are questioning the wisdom of continued aggression against a species willing to sacrifice everything to inflict maximal damage on their attackers." Malik nodded thoughtfully. "Rational self-interest. Perhaps not so different from us after all." As twilight deepened, the first stars appeared above Phoenix Dawn, including the distant point of light that was Earth, barely visible in the evening sky. Throughout the colony, lights came on in residential sections, research continued in laboratories, and the community gathered in common areas to share meals and stories. "We're transmitting again tonight," Malik mentioned, gesturing toward the communications array. the seventh in our series of broadcasts detailing the reconstruction process. Complete with tactical analysis of improved defenses, Lana added, making sure anyone listening understands the implications. The message was clear to Earth Command to other colonies, and to any potential aggressors. New Dawn had been considered Earth's weakest colony, yet had achieved victory against overwhelming odds through preparation, sacrifice, and ingenious application of limited resources. Phoenix Dawn would be stronger still, and prepared for whatever challenges might come. In the Children's Education Dome, a teacher concluded the day's history lesson with the now famous words that had been transmitted from the bunker to the retreating Dravak vessels. Earth's weakest colony survived. We're ready for anyone. As the Dravak diplomatic vessel approached several days later, its representatives were met not by fearful scientists or desperate farmers, but by a united community, standing proud among their rebuilt home, a testament to humanity's enduring capacity to face destruction and emerge stronger. The 7-minute victory had transformed not just a single colony on a distant world, but humanity's understanding of its own potential. Though officially, Earth's weakest outpost, New Dawn, had demonstrated that true strength lay not in weapons or numbers, but in innovation, unity, and the willingness to protect what matters most, whatever the cost.